Alright, so John Cola with OKRod.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and in this episode I'm going to show you guys how to make coconut kefir in literally 1 or maybe 2 days, depending on where you live and the temperature it is inside your house. Okay, and this is probably one of the easiest ferments you guys could ever do, aside from actually the coconut yogurt, which I'll probably do with the coconut meat out of these coconuts at a later point. But any case, this episode we're going to share with you guys how to make coconut kefir. So this is coconut kefir. You know, I bought this coconut kefir. It says Inter-Eco. You got this probiotic coconut water, and it says sparkling, original, unsweetened, and it's 100 billion CFUs. That's colony forming units of beneficial probiotics per. I think that's per bottle there. And the ingredients are fresh coconut water, kefir cultures, and it contains coconut. So there's only 2 ingredients to this coconut kefir. And if you guys buy this Inter-Eco stuff at your Better Health food store, it's about $15. Actually, I got it on clearance because it's close to the pull date for $10. But still, this stuff is actually quite spendy because it is only, wow, 15 fluid ounces. Now, if you want a more affordable coconut kefir, then look towards the GT's brand of the coconut kefir. This one is actually 8 ounces, and I think this runs about $3.50 or $4 near you. And this is basically the same ingredients. It's basically just a young coconut water, kefir cultures, and 100% pure love. So I'm going to make sure I add the love into my coconut kefir. So there's 2 ingredients you'll need. You'll need the coconut water, which is in the coconuts here. You'll also need the kefir culture. Now, you could buy a starter kefir culture and mail order that stuff, but you know what? You might have to incubate it, start it, and get it to grow bigger. So I say, don't do all that stuff. Just buy you one of these guys. If you guys could get these near you, one of them, or both. I like to do both of them, and I'll share why. And that is basically going to be your starter kefir culture to get your coconut water fermented, actually. And so these are the young coconuts. These are young Thai coconuts. These are also available from Vietnam, and these are the perfect coconuts you guys want to use to make coconut kefir. You know, I have seen other videos, people using like canned coconut water and, you know, all these things. I don't recommend that. I recommend using fresh coconuts. I have used the white coconuts or the brown coconuts from Mexico, but those are not as good to use as these because these have a higher sugar content. Imagine if you went down to the store and bought apples, and you bought, you know, every time you bought Fuji apples, they're always sweet, but then you go down and buy some Granny Smith apples that are not as sweet. You're not going to like the non-sweet ones. These coconuts tend to be a lot sweeter and more consistent in their flavor than the Mexican coconuts. Of course, if you live in a place where there's coconuts, you'll know the trees that are actually produce usually a sweeter coconut water, and those are the better ones. As the coconuts get more mature, they generally lose some of their sweetness there, okay? So anyways, the first step is to open up one of these guys. I'm not a big fan of all the packaging that this comes in, including the plastic and now these little padding things so they can maybe have some better air circulation inside the coconut. I don't like that a lot. The other thing to note is that these coconuts that are shipped in from Thailand are partially husked. The full coconut would be like a big football. It'd be best if you guys could get those. They can be difficult to get into. These ones, they shave down the husk, and because they shave down the husk, they basically dip this in, from what the research I've done many years ago, they dip it in sulfides so that it doesn't go bad or you get fungus and mold, and they also dip it in thiamabenzol, but they do not dip it in formaldehyde as far as I'm aware. That is a rumor that's been online for a long time, and I have not been able to verify that. I personally don't think a lot of these chemicals make it through the husk into the shell and then into the water and meat, but I leave that up for you. My goal is that actually I rarely buy these Thai coconuts anymore. I used to buy them a lot, and now I rarely buy them. I mostly buy the Mexican coconuts, usually the more mature ones that are brown, or the ones that are white. Those are my preference now. So to open this, I just like to use a standard chef's knife. There's many different tools you could get into this. I have a whole collection of them. this is not the episode for that. I'm just going to show you guys how to get into it with a nice sharp chef's knife. So put it on this side, and this method is completely safe. You're basically just going to cut off the husk, and I'm cutting down all the way to the hard shell, and I'm cutting off the peak of the coconut, which is technically the bottom of the coconut. This is the side actually that does not contain the eyes. So as you guys can see, I'm going around and cutting this off to reveal the hard nut in the middle that is basically nature's packaging. You know, there's no bottles, no jars. This is not recyclable. It's even better, it's compostable. So there's a half-life to the thiabendazole in here and the sulfides, and it'll not break down as quickly, but these still will break down. That being said, I don't put these in my compost pile personally. So anyways, once you get it shaved down, it'll look like this. This is the nut, and there'll be a few lines in the nut. I'll hold that a bit close. If you guys can see the lines, there's like main veins. There's 3 main veins. It'll segregate out into 3 sections. You want to go to the section that has the largest section. It's a half. So there'll be a half, a quarter, and a quarter. You want to go to the part that's a half. And you're going to take the tip of your knife to make sure it's a nice strong tip. Angle it up like this. You're going to hold the blade of the knife and angle that up right to the end. And then basically you're just going to tap it in. So I do 1 small tap to kind of get it stuck in. And once I get it stuck in, then I'll do a harder tap to tap it in. It'll basically fracture the shell, and then you're going to bring the level of the knife down, being parallel with your work surface, and you're going to rock it like you're giving gas on a motorcycle and make the broom broom sound. And when you do, the top will easily pop off, much like a pop top. This is super simple, super easy, and a lot smoother and cleaner than taking the back end of a cleaver and cleaving it and hoping that you open up the coconut safely without hitting anything or damaging anyone or yourself, hurting yourself. Right, so now we're just going to need, you could use any size mason jar, but I like to use the large half-gallon mason jar, so I'm going to get a nice ferment of basically a half-gallon or so, maybe not quite a half-gallon, at a time to easily pour the coconut water into the jar without spilling everywhere. I am going to use a funnel, and then to ensure that I don't get any coconut fragments or shell fragments or anything else or the meat in my coconut water, I'm going to use a sieve. So we're going to go ahead and carefully take this up. And this is always the fun part. Take it up and tip it over really fast and try to get it in there without spilling. Sometimes I'll go into a carafe, a Vitamix carafe, or a Blendtec carafe as an intermediary step, because then I find I spill a little bit less going into a wider, deeper carafe, okay? So when the water comes out, the water should kind of look either clear or kind of like maybe with a little bit of yellow tinge. The last water I had maybe was a bit darker. But you also want to inspect the meat. So the meat inside the coconut is a good indicator if the coconut that you just opened was good or bad. If the meat is white, which this meat is mostly white, you could also see it on the little piece that I cut off here. This is a good coconut, right? If the meat's like really overly purple and or brown, it could be going bad. In that case, you're going to want to taste a little bit of the water before putting it in and adding it to the mixture, so that you don't put like one bad water with all your good water. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, off camera to save time, is we're going to go ahead and open up a few more coconuts. That one coconut was about 500 milliliters, or about 16 ounces. So literally, one coconut made is going to make about $15 retail of the coconut kefir, and each of these coconuts I got on sale locally for 99 cents. Although you may have to spend $2 or $3 for them depending at where you shop at. I encourage you to visit Asian markets and buy the coconuts by the case, which are generally less expensive. Although when you buy them by the case, you do want to inspect each coconut in the case before you buy it to make sure you're going to get a good one. You want to just make sure that when you shake it, you cannot hear any water splashing around. If you do, young coconuts are not good because then they have a leak. You also want to look for any kind of discoloration like mold growth or shrinkage in the outer husk, as well as like if there's a lot of pink on the bottom, or if you press the bottom in and your finger goes in really easily, that's an indicator that it's a leaker, and it's not going to be good if the coconut on the inside is not fully sealed. All right, so I'm probably going to maybe open 2 more of these coconuts. I might add a 4th one, and we'll get the water out. Alright, so I got all the coconut water out of those coconuts. I ended up opening 1 more smaller coconut, so I got about maybe 3.5 waters in here, because each one didn't exactly have 500. Some had like 300 to 400 milliliters, and I recommend, you know, I'm using a 64-ounce mason jar, 2,000 milliliters. I filled it up to approximately 1,200 or 1,300 milliliters so far. So you can see it's not quite full. Almost 3/4 of the way full is what I filled it to. So the first step is the coconut water. The second is you need to infuse the good coconut kefir or probiotics in there. That is going to act as your starter culture. So that's where these 2 come in handy. These have active cultures, provided these are still good. And you can tell if it's good because when you open it, it'll off gas, and that's a sign that the cultures are actively turning the sugars and whatnot in the coconut water and producing their metabolites. So you're getting the secondary metabolites from the coconut kefir bacteria, as well as different nutrients, as well as a probiotic effect. All right. Likewise, we're going to go ahead and shake this up a little bit, and you want to make sure when you guys buy these, if it is a clear bottle, there should be some sludge at the bottom or just some white stuff. And once again, this had a little bit of a off-gassing effect as well. So now we want to add some of these 2 as our inoculant to the mixture. And here's the thing: the more inoculant or the coconut kefir you add to begin with, the faster your ferment will be done. What do I recommend? Well, this stuff's kind of expensive. I'm going on my 3rd batch now that I'm doing. And I probably just maybe put like maybe 1/4 of this in per batch. It's probably about good. A little bit more. And then we're going to take some of this. Now you only need to use one or the other because each one may have its whole host of different coconut kefir probiotics in there. And I'm not sure what strains are in each one because they don't say. But I figure by using both of them, you know, you're going to get the best of both worlds because the dominant cultures will survive. So basically what I've done now is I filled it up to about 1,500 milliliters in total. Okay? And now what you're going to do is you're going to simply take the lid that comes with it, and then seal this on tightly. That's very important. You want to make sure this is totally sealed on tightly and that no air can escape. Okay, so I got it fully tight, and now you want to place this on a kitchen counter, you know, out of direct sunlight. I just put it in my kitchen, and I basically usually put a date on the top. In about 1 or 2 days, you know, provided you added enough starter culture, you know, then you should see the liquid change in color from this color to more of a whitish color, and there's going to be a lot more particulate at the bottom that's going to form. And then also when you unscrew the top, well, what you're going to see is this top will start to bulge up. And that's because the pressure is accumulating, because basically the carbon dioxide is pooped out, for lack of a better word, by the bacteria, and that's your indicator that your ferment is going well. Now, the issue that happens is the carbonation or the CO2 will collect in the top half of the chamber. It'll push the lid up, but at the same time, it'll also force some of that carbonation into the liquid, so it'll carbonate it itself, so that when you're done, you're going to have a more carbonated beverage naturally. Now, if you let this go too long and you don't burp this every once in a while by letting off the carbonation and it'll go psst, right? You may explode your jar. So I'm not, you know, don't just leave this uncontrolled. This is a short ferment. 1 or 2 days is the amount that is required for it to occur. And you should have a pretty good ferment, you know, depending on where you live in the country, the world, and your temperatures. You may have to let it go a bit longer. You know, it's probably not going to be any shorter and I do recommend keeping this around 80 degrees. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put this out in the sun or anything like that because we want to keep a good temperature for the probiotics, which is basically the temperature that we like to live in. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and date this and put it in my kitchen. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and when I see this starting to bulge, then I might take further action, okay? And in about a day or two, what is going to happen is this. This is one I did, actually, let's see, 2 days ago now. I marked it 2 days ago. And you can see now the mixture is like a lot more kind of white-ish color. And at the bottom, you guys can see there's a lot of white sediment. This is all the coconut kefir cultures, right? And if we undo this, and when you smell it, whew, wow. It has a strong smell. Okay, and oh, I should have shook it up a little bit first before opening here, to make sure I get all the cultures kind of mixed in. Oh, this is where my top is leaking there. And now you could just go ahead and pour this out and drink it. Okay, so here's the thing. Once it ferments for 2 days, 1 to 2 days, depending on where you live, you don't want to keep it on the counter any longer. And then at this point, you're going to want to seal this and put it in your fridge, and you could keep that in your fridge. The coconut kefir culture will still be working, but a lot slower. You should be able to keep this in your fridge for several months without issue at that point. And we're going to go ahead and try some of this coconut kefir I made. Woo. I really taste the coconut flavor. I taste the mild carbonation in there. And it has kind of a more of a fermenty kind of taste, right? If done properly, I don't think you'd really mess up. Make sure you're starting with clean jars and clean utensils and clean everything. Now the other thing I'm going to do is, if you don't have these to start and you've used them all in the initial culture, you could always use your last culture, once again, to inoculate your next culture. So we're just going to do that just to make sure that we have enough cultures in there, because once again, the more cultures you guys have that you introduce in the first place, the faster this will be finished. So if you put only a little bit in, it's going to take longer than the time that I told you guys it would take. So yeah, this could be a continual process. So literally that means you only need to buy your coconut kefir cultures once, and provided you guys keep your culture alive by continuing on, you guys could make your own coconut kefir at home simply and easily, literally for pennies on the dollar compared to buying this stuff, which is like 15 bucks, and this is basically like 1 coconut water's worth of coconut that's been fermented out. And then you could have your own probiotic rich beverage. You guys can drink this straight up on its own. I've also used it in smoothies. I've also used it to prepare salad dressings and recipes and all that stuff. And when I have such an abundance of this, you know, I just more freely use it and add it to recipes so I can get the benefits of the probiotics and a diversity of foods in my diet. I think it is definitely a good thing. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this episode. If you guys enjoy this episode, learning how you guys could make coconut kefir in literally just 1 or 2 days, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, please be sure to share this video with somebody else you think it could help on different forums, if they're doing different kind of, you know, fermentation style diets, anti-candida diets. The coconut kefir can be helpful for those kind of situations. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on new and upcoming episodes that come out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where else you're up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to share with you guys how you guys can eat more nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables and get them into you for the best health benefit. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables, and coconut kefir, they're always best.